This is a warning. There is a new type of scam that is sweeping vulnerable Americans and not so vulnerable Americans, and you need to be aware of it. And I want to offer some warning signs you can look for, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself and your vulnerable relatives, whether it's your parents or grandparents. What am I talking about? Pig butchering. Yeah, that's a crazy term. Now, what do I mean by this? This is a new cryptocurrency scam that is literally sweeping the world. And it essentially refers to a very long-term scam where victims are fattened up, made to think that they're earning a bunch of profits, and then butchered. Everything is taken and stolen by international crime syndicates. And this is a really, really challenging problem. And our firm, I'm an estate planner, our firm has worked with thousands of families. We've seen many scams over the years. And this has started to reach even our client community, and the results can be devastating. There's a recent CNN story about this. And the story features a man by the name of Chris Jones, who at the age of 82 was the victim of a pig butchering scam, and he ended up committing suicide after basically he lost everything. So this guy lived a great life. He was an activist. He was a great family man. He had a family. He was surrounded by wonderful people. Later in his life, he felt isolated. He was taken advantage of by someone online, and eventually he lost everything. So what does a scam exactly entail? It starts with someone befriending you online. This can be via Facebook. It can be via a dating site, Match.com, Bumble. It can be via other social media networking sites or information sites, Quora. It can be any number of online sites. Basically, anywhere you can connect with someone via messaging, you can become a victim. Now, these are long, slow builds. So these scams are basically conducted in giant warehouses, often in Myanmar, in Southeast Asia. Why Myanmar? Because there's essentially no law there. So even if you know that criminals are there taking advantage of you, there's nothing that American authorities can really do because Myanmar is apparently in civil war. There's really no law enforcement there. So criminal gangs operate these giant warehouses, often made up of slaves, essentially people who were tricked to moving there and who are basically trapped there and forced sometimes at gunpoint to scam people. It's horrible all around. Someone will befriend the victim online. They will pose as a romantic interest or maybe just a friend. They will get to know each other. They'll spend weeks or even months sending personal messages, sharing information supposedly about their family, connecting with that person, building trust, months and months and months sometimes. And then eventually they'll start offering investment tips. I'm sure there's variations on this. And they'll say, hey, look, I want to help you out. I know ways to make a bunch of money in crypto. And maybe they pose as an investment expert as well. What they do next is really devious. They say, look, I have some guaranteed trades, basically guarantees. You're going to make so much money. I just want to do it as a favor to you. And they'll give tips. And then they'll send a link and let the person sign up on the best trading platform that they can find. And they send a link, say, hey, send money over here. I'll help you figure out the trades. I'll tell you what to do. I'm not touching this. So it seems to the victim like you're just putting your money into a cryptocurrency trading platform, trading money, and you can log into these sites. They look great. You get to see, the victims will often see their account balances grow and grow and grow over time. It looks like they double or even triple their money. They think they're doing so well. And slowly they send more money in, until eventually the scammers figure out, all right, we can't get any more out of this person. Maybe the person wants to take their money out. They end the scam and voila, the money's gone. And there's virtually nothing you can do to get that money back once it's gone. Some people once in a while get lucky, but it is extraordinarily hard to get that money back because it's crypto and it goes all around the world. It's really hard to trace. And again, American authorities are really limited. So what are the key warning signs to look for? I want to give 3 tips to avoid this type of scam, whether it's you or a loved one. So tip number 1, be incredibly careful about who you meet online, whether it's a dating site, an investing site, Reddit, Quora, wherever it is, Facebook, Instagram. It's never been easier for someone to create a fake online persona and make it look very legitimate. Create tons of photos. You can create a great background, a great history. It's so easy to make it look real when it's not. So just be incredibly careful about ever taking financial advice or doing anything financial with someone you meet online. Make sure it's someone you meet in person, someone who's vetted, someone who's been referred to you through multiple trusted sources. And again, ideally someone you can meet in person. Don't ever take advice from someone you have never met in person. 2, if you want to trade in crypto, never click on a link that a third party sends you. Only use vetted and verified crypto trading platforms. don't use a third-party link. You can Google them and get their official links. Triple check that link. Triple check everything. So there are a number of very trustworthy crypto trading platforms. I'm not affiliated with any of them. You have to do your own due diligence. But Coinbase has been around for a long time. They're publicly traded. Kraken, Gemini, Crypto.com. There are a bunch of them out there. Now, what do scammers do? They send links to sites that look just like these, but they're fake. They are clones of these sites, and it's not that hard to build a clone. So they will actually have login information, registration information, account information. It looks real, but it's not. If you go to one of their links, you're actually logging into a fake scam website. But you really can send money to these websites. They will happily take your money. They set it up to do that. And the devious thing about these fake websites is you'll put money in and people will follow the scammer's instructions. And it will look like their account balances are growing. It looks legitimate. You can log in day after day and watch your account balance change. Maybe sometimes it even goes down, but often it will go up and up and up. And that's how they build trust and make people think, oh, I can send more money in because my account's growing. But it's all fake if it's one of these sites. So only use a direct link, maybe via Google search or just Coinbase.com. It's pretty simple. Go directly to these sites if you want to trade in crypto. And crypto is very risky. Invest at your own risk. I'm not an investment advisor in this area. I would never recommend anybody invest in crypto unless you're okay losing that money, unless you've done your due diligence. But don't do it. Don't ever do it through a third-party site. And 3, you need to have an estate plan in place. Now, I'm an estate plan attorney, but why does this matter for scams? Well, this matters for you, but it especially matters if you have a loved one who you're concerned about, a parent, a grandparent. What do I mean by this? It's a durable power of attorney and a living trust. These are the 2 key documents that can protect if you're worried about scams. In the trust, you name a trustee or co-trustee or backup trustee. That's essentially the person who manages the trust for you. When you set up your own living trust, you are usually your own trustee. If I create up the Mark Gilfix Trust, I, Mark Gilfix, am the trustee. But I don't have to be the trustee. So if I was worried about my capacity, if I was sick, or just worried about my ability to keep track of my affairs, I can always name a child, a loved one, a trusted professional, an attorney, a bank to be the trustee. And that means that they don't own the assets in the trust. They don't own my personal assets, but they have the ability to manage them for me. A durable power for attorney for finance is the document where I get to name the people who can step in and manage my day-to-day business of life issues, review my financial records, my taxes, and other related business and financial issues. Here, I name someone to step in for me either if I'm incapacitated or to help me out right away. They get access to talk to banks on my behalf, to talk to the IRS on my behalf. These are critical because if you have a parent or a grandparent who might be isolated and you're just worried that maybe their capacity, their memory is slipping, they are extra vulnerable to these types of attacks and scams. And so if you talk to them ahead of time and get them to name you or someone else that they trust, a trusted third party, to step in maybe as a co-trustee or to give them that power through the power of attorney document, you can keep an eye on their finances and make sure there's no weird transfers going out of their bank accounts or out of their investment accounts. And that way you can stop these scams before they get started, or at least right after they get started. Because otherwise, even if you're a concerned child, you're worried that your dad or your mom is maybe slipping, your grandparent is slipping, you don't really have any legal access to look at any of their financial records or their bank accounts or anything like that. You need them to give you the authority. Getting that up-to-date trust and power of attorney in place can be another way to avoid these scams, because you can, in essence, if they're okay with it, they can give you the authority to help them with their finances. So these scams are horrible and you can lose everything you work for your entire life. Over $4 billion was lost to these crypto scams last year in America. It may have been even higher than that, and I expect it's going to be even higher in 2024. So again, make sure, don't ever trust somebody you've only met online. It's okay to chat with them, I guess, but there are more and more sophisticated criminal entities out there that are just waiting to take billions of dollars. 2, again, don't ever click on a third-party link that's emailed to you to register for cryptocurrency trading platform. Only go directly to legitimate platforms, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Kraken. There are a bunch of vetted, verified platforms. Only use those, and also only invest in crypto if you've done due diligence and if you are aware of the risks involved in that very volatile field. And then 3, make sure that you have your own estate plan in place. That includes the living trust, where you name a trusted third party to step in as trustee if you need it, or maybe right away to help you manage, and a durable power of attorney for finances, where similarly, someone is named to help you out if your capacity is slipping. And if you're worried about a parent or grandparent getting scammed, talk to them ahead of time. See if you can voluntarily look over their financial records with them and encourage them to put that living trust into place, that durable power of attorney, and to name you or another trusted third party to help them oversee their finances. I am terrified as more and more Americans get older, as the boomer generation gets older, as Alzheimer's becomes more prevalent. There are already millions of Americans suffering with dementia. As that grows, there are going to be more and more vulnerable Americans, and these criminal syndicates are only going to get more and more powerful and vicious in their ability to go after unsuspecting individuals around the world. So let's plan ahead. Let's stop these scams before they start. And there's always going to be new scams. We're going to try to keep an eye on some of them, but try to stay safe out there. How do you stay on top of this? Well, comment, like, share this video with anyone who you know could benefit from this. Let's stay on top of this and protect our family assets.